I'll call the Marathon County Board of Supervisors to order, please. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise with me and stay standing. Following the Pledge of Allegiance will be a silent moment of reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we'll have the reading of the notice, please.
The educational and adjourned organizational meeting of the Marathon County Board of Supervisors, composed of 38 members, will convene at the Marathon County Courthouse Assembly Room, 500 Forest Street, Wausau, on Thursday, May 15th at 6 p.m., and the agenda was duly signed and posted.
Thank you. And I'd like to request everyone please silence your cell phones or put them on silent or vibrate as to not be an interruption, and I thank you for your indulgence. We'll move on to roll call, and I'd ask all the supervisors to please sign in. Okay, we have 19 members in present and 11 also joining us by WebEx. So thank you to everyone. And I'd like to welcome all of the visitors that we have with us this evening and also the viewing audience, and thank you for your interest in county government. We'll proceed on to item number 7 on the agenda, public comment, and not to exceed 15 minutes. And we didn't have anybody approach myself nor the clerk, so we'll just move on to item number 8, educational presentations and or reports. And first is item 8, B8, and that is standing committee chairs or designees. Any reports by standing committee chairs or designees? Okay, we'll then move on to item C, consent agenda, items C9 through items C11. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Drabek, second by Supervisor Lemmer. Any discussion on the consent agenda items? Again, items C9 through items C11. All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Supervisor Zhang, how do you vote? Supervisor Zhang, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me? Sorry,
Yes.
I'm having internet problems.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
And how do you vote then, please? The motion is to approve the consent agenda items C9 through C11, and so it's we're waiting on your vote. Yeah, now we've got it. We received it. Thank you very much. And we'll proceed, and the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. We'll move on to appointments. Item D12, the Solid Waste Management Board.
Reappointing Supervisor Alan Drabek, Supervisor Tom Soibert, Supervisor Jason Wilhelm, and the Town of Ringel Rep. Al Christensen to the Solid Waste Management Board for 3-year terms ending April 30, 2028.
Motion by Supervisor Cavelli and seconded by Supervisor Marash. Any discussion on those appointments? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. We'll move on to item D13, the ADRC CW Advisory Committee.
Reappointing Dana McCallalad-Ponak to the Aging and Disability Resource Center Board of Central Wisconsin Advisory Committee to complete a 3-year term to expire April 30, 2027.
And we have a motion by Supervisor Lemmer and a second by Supervisor Robinson. Any discussion on the motion to appoint to the ADRC CW Advisory Committee? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to item D14, Board of Adjustment appointment.
Reappointing Jim Servi of Athens to complete a 3-year term as the second alternate to expire June 30, 2027.
I have a motion by Supervisor Lemmer and a second by Supervisor Mask. Any discussion on the appointment to the Board of Adjustment? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Item D15, the CCIT Commission Citizen Member.
Reappointing Chet Strebe, the CIO at North Central Technical College, as the citizen member of the City County IT Commission for a 2-year term beginning June 1st, 2025 and expiring May 31st, 2027.
Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Marash. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Vice Chair Dickinson, we're waiting on your vote, please. Thank you. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to item D16, the Chair and the Vice Chair of the Environmental Resources Committee.
Appointing Mike Ritter as Chair of the Environmental Resources Committee, replacing Jacob Langenhahn, and appointing Supervisor Rick Seefeld as Vice Chair of the ERC, replacing Mike Ritter.
Motion by Supervisor Covelli and seconded by Supervisor Drabek. Supervisor Sandalski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question. So the residents of District 25 have been in contact with me about 2 large concerns. Both are under the purview of the ERC committee. So with that, I have 2 questions for Supervisor Ritter, the next chair for the ERC. So the first one is, do you have a plan to combat the largest threat to farmland preservation in Marathon County, which is the the industrial wind and solar on prime fertile farmland? And my second question is, what is your plan and your stance on the small farm winter manure spreading? So that's all I have.
Supervisor Sandalski, I'll have to rule your questions out of order. They are not germane to the appointment of the committee chair and the vice chair. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And Supervisor Unger, could you vote? Supervisor Unger, could you provide your vote voice by voice? And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried. And we'll move on. Okay, moving on to item D17, to appoint to District 35 and the oath of office. And first, I would like to thank the three individuals who submitted their applications. And I also would like to thank the interview committee that did the interviews today and assisted the chair. The vice chair assisted, along with the clerk assisted, and the appointment recommendation to the board was unanimous. But I do want to mention that the other two candidates were very qualified, and I thank them for their interest. And as one of the comments that was made by the interviewing committee, we would be well served by any of those individuals on the board. So with that, I'll have the clerk read the appointment.
Appointing Jerry Kurth from Otter Lane in the town of Mosinee to the Marathon County Board of Supervisors, representing District 35, replacing Jacob Longenhahn. Also appointing Mr. Kurth to the Environmental Resources Committee.
Motion by Supervisor Hagan and second by Supervisor Marash. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing Supervisor Hoppe, please.
Is there any chance we can get some background on them? Any information at all? Since a lot of us don't know them? Is there a resume? Is there anything?
So I would invite Mr. Kurth to come up and give us a little bit of background on himself, if he chooses.
Either one.
Good evening, everybody. I have 26 years of experience as a township supervisor, that I have just retired from, looking for a new opportunity. I'm very interested in serving the residents in my area and helping Marathon County prosper. So if I can be of any other assistance, I do care a lot about Marathon County and our residents.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Supervisor Rosenberg. Got you. Yeah. We'll proceed. And the motion is unanimous. Thank you. And now I will have the clerk administer the oath.
Okay, so if you'll raise your right hand and then repeat after me. I, Jerry Kurth,
I, Jerry Kurth,
having been appointed to the office of Marathon County Board Supervisor, District 35,
having been appointed to the district office, Marathon County Board of Supervisors, District 35,
but have not yet entered the duties thereof,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
If you'll sign right there. All right, thank you. Take your seat.
We'll move on to item E, Environmental Resources Committee, and under ordinances, we have E18, the Town of Brighton rezone. J. Leinbach for Sunrise Service LLP, ordinance 0-19-25. Motion by Supervisor Arstead and seconded by Supervisor Mask. Any discussion? Okay, we'll proceed to vote, and the clerk is going to assist Mr. Supervisor Kurth to ensure that he has the voting on his phone. And we'll proceed. Supervisor Kurth, I think you need to hit the yes or no, please. Thank you. And we'll proceed, and the motion is unanimous. Thank you. We'll move on to item E19 from the Town of Elderon, a rezone. Chris Fieri and David and Christine Gruna, ordinance 20-25. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Drabeck, second by Supervisor Ritter. Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Supervisor Zhang? Thank you. And we'll proceed, and the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. Item E20, Town of Elderon rezone. Tim Vreeland on behalf of William Hart, ordinance 0-21-25. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Pfeffrick. Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Supervisor Rosenberg? Yes. Got it. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. From the Town of Holton rezone, Tim Vreeland on behalf of Warren Bus, ordinance 0-22-25. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Drabeck, second by Supervisor Wilhelm. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. From the Town of Spencer, a rezone, James Erickson for Daniel Anderson, ordinance 0-23-25. Motion by Supervisor Kroll, second by Supervisor Hagan. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. From the Human Resources, Finance and Property Committee, amendments to Section 3.20 of the Marathon County General Code related to tax delinquent land sales, Ordinance 0-24-25. Motion by Supervisor Marash and seconded by Supervisor Robinson. Discussion. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Supervisor Endres, thank you, and Supervisor Unger, please. Thank you, and we'll proceed. And the motion is carried, but it's not unanimous. Moving on to the Environmental Resources Committee. Town of Wausau rezone agricultural district to light manufacturing. Item G24, resolution R-28-25. Motion by Supervisor Ritter and seconded by Supervisor Pfeffrick. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Thank you, we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. From the Town of Wausau, rezone commercial light manufacturing to residential district, resolution 29-25. Item G25, motion by Supervisor Hagan, seconded by Supervisor Curvelli. Any discussion? All right, we will proceed to vote. Supervisor Sandalski. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. Item H from the Executive Committee, item H26, confirming and ratifying the authority of council for Marathon County to add additional defendants to the opioid litigation including in the MDL 2804, Resolution 30-25. Motion by Supervisor Arstead and seconded by Supervisor Robinson. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote, please. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to Human Resources, Finance and Property Committee and Public Safety Committee. Item I-27, a reorganization of the Medical Examiner's Office. Resolution 31-25. Motion by Supervisor Mask and second by Supervisor Robinson. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. Item I-28, the Sheriff's Lieutenant's County Pay Scale and Employment Benefits, Resolution 32-25. Motion by Supervisor Mask and second by Supervisor Pfeffrick. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried and is unanimous. Thank you. For item J, Human Resources, Finance and Property Committee and Infrastructure Committee, item J29, consideration of offers to purchase properties in the Village of Cronenweder, specifically parcels identification numbers 1452707, 022, 0973, and item property number 1452707, 022, 0975, and parcel 1452707, 022, 0971, and finally parcel 1452707, 022, 0970. Potential locations for a relocated highway facility, Resolution 33-25. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Poole and seconded by Supervisor Robinson. Any discussion? Supervisor Wilhelm, please.
I read an article in a paper this last weekend, I think, and there was something in there about it's not the parcels I believe we are voting on today, but one of the parcels where a family is living there and there could be some financial problems if we buy them out. I just want to make sure that we don't force somebody into a bad situation. And I was wondering if I can get some.
Sure, we'll provide a little bit of clarity around, as we had mentioned last month when we purchased the other 3 parcels, there was still effectively 5 parcels that were still owned privately. This covers items P3, P4, P5, and P6 that are shown on the screen right now. There's also discussion with the property owner in P2 at this point. But Mr. Griesbach, please.
Thank you. I'm just going to address Lance and touch on that question, but I'll also kind of hit real briefly on P3, 4, 5, and 6. P3, 4, and 5, those are residential properties. P6 has a shed on it that's in really poor shape, half fallen down. P3 through 6 are all related, so we're making this as one land purchase for them. It's 5.67 acres for those 4 parcels. I know a question's been brought up to me a couple of times about what does that do for the tax base, what are we losing? Those 4 parcels total are just a little short of 8,400, like 8,399, something like that for tax base. That does include their garbage, but what does that mean to Marathon County? $2,458 of property tax lost to Marathon County, which is $2,400, but it's not significant. And for the Village of Cronenweder, it's just a shade short of $1,900. So if we would acquire those 4 parcels, they add up to 5.67 acres, combined with the 8.22 that we have already have agreements with, that give us a total of 23.89. Now, I know Lance is going to talk a little bit. He's had conversations with the owner from P2 and the president from Cornwall to address some of their concerns, so Lance can handle those questions.
Thanks, Jim. So I appreciate the question, and we discussed this both at the Infrastructure Committee as well as HR, Finance, and Property. I did have the opportunity to meet both with the village president, President Baker, and kind of talk through some of the concerns you heard about at one of your previous meetings. And the big takeaway, this is my characterization of that meeting. First of all, I think it was a positive meeting. But the big takeaway from my perspective was it was really important for us, for the county to be a good neighbor. And I interpreted neighbor to mean 2 things. Neighbor on the macro level to the village of Cronenweder, to make sure we address things like water utilization, which you heard about, traffic congestion potential, which again, I think we had good conversations. I think the water issue, based on that conversation, is largely resolved with what, quite honestly, we were looking at during the course of this entire project, which is the potential for on-site wells for purposes of brine operations. Then we're going to talk more about traffic congestion as the project moves forward. But that's on the macro level. On the micro level, it was the idea of being a good neighbor to the properties that surround the development parcel, the parcels that we've already acquired, which is or I should say you've already approved us acquiring, which are the green parcels, and specifically those that are residential in nature. And this coincides with one of the things that I think the village, I don't know the current status of it, but the village started to look at potential zoning amendment changes to their entire zoning code that would impact a highway facility to say, hey, we have pretty significant setback requirements from any residentially zoned properties. So again, the idea being a good neighbor on the micro level to be, what does that look like with the parcels that would abut the facility? So this, I think, from the supervisor perspective, if I were to put myself in your shoes, I think addresses some of those concerns. We would be purchasing all of the residential properties on the southern border. Specifically with respect to your question, I should say on P2, I did also have a number of conversations with those landowners. They actually did attend a Village of Croninwetter meeting and express concerns if they were to remain in that home and the highway facility were to be built around them. I would say those were likewise very positive conversations. In fact, I have another meeting with them on Friday to talk through some of the concerns that they've expressed. I fully anticipate being able to bring back to this body, should it make its way through the committee, an offer to purchase on that property as well. We're going to meet on Friday, and again, I think we've had some very good conversations. I better understand what their issues are, particularly in light of some of the issues they have with the current mortgage they have on their property. So that is kind of a state of where we are. Happy to answer any other questions if you guys might have, but the specific offers to purchase you have that the resolution relates to are the ones that are P3, 4, 5, and 6 along that southern border.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Thank you, Supervisor Unger. And we'll proceed, and the motion is carried, but is not unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to the Public Safety Committee, a resolution to the state of Wisconsin relative to state support of the circuit court funding, Resolution 34-25. Motion by Supervisor Mask and seconded by Supervisor Drabek. Any discussion? All right, we'll proceed to vote. Thank you. And we'll proceed. And the motion is carried. Down to announcements and/or requests. Any announcements and/or requests? The clerk has one announcement, and that is to please let the clerk know if you plan on attending the Monday special meeting by the Joint Homelessness Task Force for the presentation, and that presentation will be at the UWSP WASA Center at the Center for Civic Engagement, and that is at 6:30 on Monday. Supervisor Boots, please.
Is that being recorded?
Yes.
Yes, it will be.
Can I request a copy of that, please, because I'll be out of state?
Sure. We'll make sure you'll have a link
Yep,
to
we'll send
the
me an
copy
email
of
too.
it. Yeah, and just so it's clear, we do have to have, since it's a special board meeting, we do have to have a quorum of the board to be able to have that meeting. And I know several people are not going to be available, so please, by all means, reach out to the clerk to let her know if you are able to attend and if you plan on attending. Yeah, and that's if you plan on attending in person, and that's not going to be. It also will be offered by WebEx. So, but we do need to know if you're going to be attending in person for us for seating assignments. Any other announcements? If not, we're down to item number 32. What is your pleasure? Motion by Supervisor Cavelli, second by Supervisor Kroll to adjourn. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. We stand adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay safe.